For most of us, a house is just, well, it's home. But what if it could be so much more than that? What if that building could actually be a powerful engine for your wealth, or even a secret weapon for growing a business? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can make that a reality. So, that's the big question, right? How do you take a simple building and transform it into a high-performing asset? That's what we're going to unpack today. We'll look at some really smart strategies, whether you're investing for yourself or you're running a major company. All right, first up, let's dive into the investor's playbook. We're going to start with the strategies that everyday people, individuals, can use to turn property into a serious source of wealth. And believe me, there are a few very different ways to play this game. Okay, the one you've probably heard of the most is buy to rent. The motto is simple: earn while you own. The whole idea is pretty straightforward. You buy a place, you rent it out. But the real magic here is that it works in two ways. First, you get that steady cash flow from the rent, which ideally covers your mortgage and then some. At the same time, the property itself is hopefully appreciating, growing in value over the years. It's really the classic long-term play for anyone looking for that steady, predictable income. Now, let's swing to the complete opposite end of the spectrum. We're talking about property flipping. And the mantra here is just as direct: buy smart, sell high, profit fast. This is a totally different beast. It's short-term, it's high stakes. The whole game is about finding a property that's a little rougher on the edges, something undervalued, fixing it up just right, and then selling it for a quick profit. Success here, it's all about moving fast and having a laser focus on what buyers are actually looking for. So what if you're looking for something kind of in the middle? Well, that's where off-plan investment comes in. The idea here is to enter early, grow faster. You're basically buying a property before it even exists, before it's built. This usually lets you get in at a much lower price. Your goal is all about capital growth. In simple terms, you want the property's value to shoot up between the time you sign the papers and the day it's finally built and ready to go. Okay, let's put this all side by side so it's super clear. Each one of these strategies is really designed for a different kind of investor. So if you're what we'd call an income seeker and you're in it for the long haul, buy to rent is definitely your move. But if you're a profit builder and you want that quick, high return, then property flipping is the path for you. And finally, if you're an appreciation investor focused on that medium-term jump in value, then you'll want to seriously look at off-plan investments. All right, so that's the playbook for individual investors. But property isn't just about building personal wealth. For businesses, real estate is an incredibly powerful tool. In fact, it's a core part of their entire strategy for how they operate and grow. The really big mindset shift for a business is seeing that a property isn't just another cost on a spreadsheet. It's so much more. It's a strategic tool. Think about it. The right location can help you attract the best talent, make your operations way more efficient, and give you a huge competitive advantage. And when a company manages its properties well, they stop being passive buildings and become active players in the company's success. It's all about securing those perfect locations, making sure the buildings themselves are performing at their peak efficiency, and ultimately boosting the company's bottom line and its overall financial stability. So how do they do it? Well, it usually comes down to a really clear three-step process. First up is strategic acquisition. That means using a ton of data to find and lock down the perfect properties. Step 2 is asset optimization. This is all about enhancing that property, making it as valuable and efficient as it can possibly be. And finally, there's seamless management. This is where you handle all the nitty-gritty, the negotiations, compliance, all of it, so that the company's leaders can just focus on running their actual business. Okay, now here's something that connects everyone, whether you're that individual investor we talked about or a massive corporation. There is one principle that underpins all success in property, and that is learning how to navigate the market with confidence. And you do that through smart risk management. And I really love this quote here, because it just nails the whole idea. See, good risk management isn't about trying to avoid every single risk out there. That's impossible. It's about having forward-looking insight, that ability to see around the corner, to anticipate what's coming. That's what safeguards your capital and empowers you to make smarter, way more confident decisions. So the question is, where does that kind of insight even come from? Well, I can tell you it's definitely not guesswork. It comes from a really powerful combination of two things: hard data analytics and that irreplaceable, invaluable human expertise. This whole approach really stands on three key pillars.
First, you've got quantitative analytics. We're talking the raw numbers, the hard data. Second, you have market intelligence, which is all about understanding the big picture trends. And third, and this one's crucial, is on-the-ground expertise. This is the local know-how that data by itself can just never give you. When you bring all three of those together, that's when you can navigate even the trickiest markets with real confidence. All right, we've looked at strategies for you, the individual. We've looked at them for big corporations. And we've talked about the absolutely critical role of managing risk. So it really all boils down to one final question for you. So, what's your strategy? What's your goal? Are you playing the long game, building for that steady income? Or are you playing the short game for a quick profit? Or maybe that medium-term play for capital growth? Seriously, answering that one question is the very first and maybe the most important step you can take to turn any property into a truly high-performing asset.